Hi there, I'm Akita, and today I'm going to show you how to turn your coaching or your membership into a client-ready SaaS product using NotebookLM and Google Gems. No code, very simple, very straightforward. We're going to get this done in 3 steps. And as a quick little reminder, in case you didn't know, when we're talking about SaaS, like basically a recurring subscription for a product, this particular technique does not, it's something that has to be babysat, for lack of a better word. You have to monitor it to make certain that everything is working correctly. And as businesses change and things fluctuate and things of that nature, you might have to add things to the NotebookLM. You might have to take things out, which is completely fine. Do not underestimate the actual attitude of people who have money to spend on certain things if they don't want to do it themselves. They are more than happy in some cases to go ahead and pay you or me for this particular service, or you might even want to use it yourself for your own coaching, for your own membership. Don't we all need to be cloned? Yes, we do. Well, relatively speaking, yes. So it's a service that people are willing to actually pay for and that you can even use for your own businesses as well. So that being said, let's go ahead and dive on in, and we're going to take care of this, as I said, in 3 simple steps. Now, the very first step that we're going to go ahead and hit is survey the client. We are not even going to touch tech. No tech is going to be touched as far as the actual building is concerned. We're simply going to have a conversation. In this case, perhaps just in the form of an actual survey. Why do you want this actual AI coach? Why do you want this service? Who do you serve? What is the single most important outcome you want this AI to help them achieve? If this AI coach could only do one thing perfectly for your people, what would that be? You want to get a pulse on what your client wants, what they need, what kind of outcome they want, because you want to make sure you dial everything in to supply that particular thing. People want personalization, they want customization. You want it too, and we're able to give it now with the power of AI, NotebookLM, and other similar tools, and to give a better experience. So you would take these questions and perhaps put them into a simple Google form, something like that, something easy, free, accessible, or whatever you're going to use, and get that information from your clients. Now, whoever that happens to be, I have some fake survey answers here, some fake scenarios, but I think I'm going to go ahead and use the actual first one from the online course creator. So her purpose is to clone herself to handle student questions and what do I do next type of things between live calls. She put some answers here: course, students, outcome, keep moving and finish the course. Perfect thing would be to turn I'm stuck into a clear next step in the curriculum. Tasks, where do I start? Next step guidance, recap key lessons, things of that nature. So in this particular case, I can already tell in this scenario, if we're talking about key lessons, if the course ever changes or the key lessons get tweaked, that has to be refed into the notebook and so on and so forth. So we have this information. At this point in time, we go ahead and we start building. Okay, so we're on the building portion. Step 2, build the NotebookLM and the gem. So I'm going to go over here to NotebookLM, which is the actual, the main, lobby, homepage of NotebookLM. I'm just going to go ahead and click on this one that I've already filled with resources. Now, this is not a deep dive into NotebookLM, but I will show you, like over here to the left, are some sources that I've just pulled up just for this particular video. But what I really want you to take a look at here is that once you have all these sources in, so like the actual client should be showing you or sharing with you what kind of sources do they want in there. So they want like their employee handbook, their courses, their course outlines, their transcripts, like the one hypothetical course creator in the previous clip that I showed you in the Google Doc. What do they need? What do they want? All that kind of good stuff. And you put all this in here. You would also put in here for the sources your own signature stuff. So if they come to you and they're saying, yes, I need you to help me get me together. My particular people are not doing A, B, C, D, and I heard that you help out with X, Y, Z or whatever. You would put your stuff in here too, keeping in mind that this stuff is not visible to anyone unless you give someone a direct link to it. However, you do need to go up here in the upper right hand corner, and then what you'll simply do is where it says notebook access, you'll go ahead and click that to anyone with a link. You can't have it be restricted, because what you want it to be able to do is you want the actual gem to be able to read the resources in the notebook. So you will have your clients kind of information here, but you'll have your master stuff in terms of your signature frameworks, or your special way of teaching or conveying information, and you'll probably end up merging the two. You can do it a different sort of way too without your membership or coaching, but more often than not, you're going to probably end up using that to kind of feng shui something together that's going to produce something really good for your clients. So once you have that done, don't forget to hit save. I've already done that, so it is not blue for me, but it might be for you. Don't worry about this. That's for a different particular use case. And now we're on our way. We have our actual NotebookLM. Sources are filled. Everything is set up, and we're basically good to go. All right, so at this point in time, we're going to simply go ahead and go into Gemini.google.com. And we're going to go ahead and start getting everything set up. So on the left-hand side, in case this is not open for you, there are 3 lines in the upper left-hand side. You go ahead and click them, and then you'll see gems. Click the little arrow for gems. I'm just going to go ahead and close the actual sidebar over here. And if you scroll down past Gem Manager, you're going to go ahead and see where it says gems. I'm going to go ahead and click New Gem. You should as well. And you have your new gem. So that's all set up. You're going to put a bunch of information here, and then you're going to connect this gem to the NotebookLM with all the information, all your clients' resources, everything. But now we have to go to the custom portion where we want to make certain that the interactivity between the gem and whoever's using it is doing exactly what it should based off of what your client requested and what their needs are. So over here, we're going to go on back to, let's see here, the actual responses. So I'm just going to go ahead and, well, first of all, let's go ahead and grab the personalization prompt first. So a simple prompt, it just basically says, read the survey answers. I don't know why I said above, below, and write full instructions, a name, and a description for an AI coach gem. Clearly define who it serves, why it exists, and the one thing it must do perfectly. Describe the tone, pacing, and style, how it should sound, all that kind of good stuff. So we're going to copy this, and then we'll go ahead and we'll paste it. Oh, not there. Let's open up a new gem, or new Gemini, a new chat, excuse me, and let's paste that in there. So we have that there, that's handy, enter, enter. Now I'm gonna go back and just go ahead and grab the answers and all the information from the client. Copy that, and let's put that right there. And now we go ahead and hit the submit button, and we're just going to wait, because now it's going to give us the information that we need to go ahead and finish up the gem. So we have all this information. Everything is set and looking good. We have the constraints. Let me see here. Would you like me to generate a specific welcome message for this gem to use when a student first opens the chat? Sure, why not? Let's do that too. And while that is cooking, let's see here. Would you like me to create a progress check-in prompt that the gym can use if a student seems hesitant? We could be here all day. It will literally try to dial everything in until it gives it that perfect sweet spot. It's very, very helpful. In the interest of time, however, I'm going to just go ahead and take this top one right here, but I will say this. If you want to go back and forth with it, you can say, yes, but please include everything, or include the entire prompt and add it logically into the rest of the entire prompt. And so when things are rewritten, you get the entire prompt versus having to piecemeal everything in. So it's doing the entire thing. Here's the welcome experience, the tone and the voice, the core task. Everything's going to be all wrapped up together in a nice little, platter. Looking great. So I'm going to grab all of this, since it has it, why not? And I just want the instructions. I'm going to come back and grab the name and the description. So I'm going to go back over here. Instructions go here. I'm just going to paste it where it needs to be. Let me go ahead and grab the name, which is the momentum maker. I have no reason to change that. I'm going to keep going with that. That is fine. Of course, if your client wants to call it Charlie or Bob, that's okay. Snookums, also okay. Perfect. Okay, so that's all set. Now, we have the name, we have the description, we have the instructions. Keep in mind we're still on step 2. So down here where it says knowledge, we can go ahead and actually add in knowledge files and things of that nature, but we really don't need to, because what we're going to do is look at the plus symbol, click on that, and then go ahead and click NotebookLM. And we're going to add the actual one that I just actually allowed to be viewable: productivity, mental health, and structured self-management. Make sure that you know which notebook goes with which client, so you're not putting in information that should not be available to other clients. That would be bad. Okay, let's go ahead and add that so that is set. So that is all connected. It's all looking good. I'm going to go ahead and save. And then we are basically good to go. So let me get rid of that. I'm going to go back over here. And then down here at the bottom should be your actual gem. Now, sometimes it might take a moment for the gem to populate, but it will pop up, just like walk away, get a cup of coffee, come back. Now, there is one thing that I do want to go ahead and share with you that I would be remiss if I didn't. Let me go ahead and click the little edit button. Do you see here where it says default tool, no default tool? Depending on, and we're still in the build mode, go down here, default tool, depending on the job of the gem, will kind of dictate what kind of default tool you want to go ahead and use. So if it's a step-by-step coaching, walkthroughs, do this, now this, you might want to stick with guided learning. If it's for creating documents, worksheets, infographics, stuff like that, you might want to have the default tool be Canvas. However, one thing that you do want to know is that, or at least understand, is that the actual user within the gem can go ahead and tweak and adjust things and change up the tools. So that's always a possibility. And so technically I tend to want to leave it as a no default tool, but it really does depend on the niche and the use case. So just keeping that in mind. Okay. So this is all set. Now what you would simply do if you were going to share this with the client is that you would simply go ahead and click on share, and saying that something went wrong, and of course it did, because I'm filming right now. And something went wrong again. Let me go ahead and refresh the page, because remember how I told you that sometimes the gems will be a little bit persnickety once they're first created? This might be an actual example. Let me go ahead and pause, come back, and we'll go from there. Okay, so now it's acting right. So you click share, and this pops up. So you can share one of two ways. You can just go ahead and share with the individual by typing in that individual's email address right here, and they'll have full access to the gem and by definition to the notebook. As a quick reminder, the actual sources in the notebook cannot be viewed. Okay, now the actual user can go ahead and actually view the instructions in the gem, which is completely fine. Those instructions are literally customized for that particular client, so fine, no big deal. But the actual stuff that's proprietary, that belongs to you, that might be super secret or what have you, that's all under lock and key with the notebook. The notebook allows putting it as a view, anyone with a link can view sort of deal. That allows the gem to talk to the notebook and see what's going on with the notebook, versus the actual human beings being able to go in and see what's in the notebook itself. So you're basically safe. So, but if we have a situation where the actual client wants to use it for their entire membership, or you want to use it for your entire membership, you go over here to general access, click restricted, make it anyone with the link, and then go ahead and click done. And you're basically ready to rock and roll. I'm going to go ahead and click on the momentum maker right here and just go ahead and click hi. But this is basically step 2 of building the SaaS. And honestly, I'd be moving a lot more quickly if I was not explaining this. So it's a very, very quick process. We have the actual little welcome greeting here to greet the actual students or whomever the case may be. And that's looking phenomenal. So we are now on step 3, which is test with real scenarios. So I have some testing prompts right here for the gem. And okay, so you could use these or niche tweak them to check the actual behavior of the gem. So you do want to test to make certain that it's going to give a relatively, an accurate response, doing the right sort of things, grabbing the right files, all that kind of good stuff. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy this. And these questions would probably have to be changed according to the niche that you are actually, working with for your particular client. But I'm going to pop this up here. And I don't know why I didn't pop in the short description, but that's okay. It's going to go ahead and assume what it is. Okay, what was the last lesson or module you completed? If you're brand new, phase 1 getting started. What is one time thing you can do? Blah, blah. All right, so that's looking pretty good. That's actually looking pretty accurate. So you'd go back and forth and actually test it. Beta testers are great, always a plus. Can't really beat that in any way, shape, or form. So 3 quick steps, right? So you survey your client. 2, you build the NotebookLM, you build the actual gem. 3, you test. I'm not going to test all on the actual camera, but you get the actual gist. Now, as far as all that is concerned, very simple, very straightforward, and no code. But let's now talk about monetization, things of that nature. Quick table here, not going to take very long. You can have a DIY starter kit. So members in your course or your membership who want to build their own AI coach. Certainly doable, right? NotebookLM outline, base, gem, instruction template, whatever you want to do. Host a community coach. So your whole membership needs one shared AI assistant, which is what I was kind of talking about with the previous scenario. So the gem is hosted. It's the link to the gem is put inside the actual membership or the course or emailed out in the onboarding, whatever the case may be. Maybe people want to go ahead and do a custom build. They want a coach tailored to their brand. So you sit down with them and you go back and forth. Maybe someone wants to go ahead and build these for their own clients. So you might set something up in that way. Maybe the actual client of yours wants it to be built in their NotebookLM and their actual ecosystem of Google and so on and so forth. So there's lots of different ways to go ahead and make money off of this, monetize it, things of that nature, depending on what you want to do. Actually, there's probably more than what I just have right here. But as you can see, very simple, very straightforward, and you can easily make a client-ready SaaS using NotebookLM and Google Gems in just 3 steps. All right, get on out there, do something amazing, and you take care and have a great day. And if you're liking the learning, you're enjoying what you're seeing, please go ahead and give me a like, a subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. It costs you nothing, and it means the world to me. And if you're really liking all the teaching and all the learning, go ahead and click the link below, get on the wait list for my membership or the membership itself, and I will email you lots of cool productivity tips and tricks and things to kind of keep your brain on straight, your head on straight, yourself good to go, to help you save time and money and brain power using AI. All right, that's it for me. You take care. Bye.